So I have this jewelry box that I've had in the closet for a while, and I decided that I want to give it a makeover. And I was thinking that the top drawer I could put my headphones in it, so when I'm like listening to music and recording, I have easy access to it. And the bottom opens up, so I was gonna put some cork board in here and then make like little pins and stick it in there because I think it'd be just different and fun. And I don't know what else I could stick in there really because it opens weird and I don't want it to get lost in the back. So right now I'm thinking of ideas for it, and I think I want to paint it like a very light blue maybe, and then have it like a Pusheen theme, so I could draw like Pusheens on the sides, and then I could make Pusheen pins and put it on the inside of that. So I took a pencil and roughly sketched out Pusheens on all sides of this little jewelry box. So here's the top. Here is the front, and I did have to take that little piece off so I could finish painting right there, and I'll put that back on at the end. So we have a little Pusheen in a cup and a sleeping Pusheen. On the side we have a Rapunzel and a tower Pusheen. And on the other side we have Pusheen eating a donut. So I stuck the drawer back in so you can kind of have an idea of what it looks like at this stage. I really do love that color blue. I think it looks great on this jewelry box. I'm hoping that these Pusheens turn out okay. So I found some images online that I like to Pusheen, and so I drew them out. So I'm using magical shrink plastic sheets. And here they are. So I put them in the oven. They've already shrank down to the size. So now I just need to turn them into pins. So I'm going to try to remove this. So I took out the stuff that was originally in here. I'm not going to clean it that great because I'm going to just glue this on top of it. So I just feel like it'll just cover it up anyway. And so this is what the pins are going to stick into. So I cut this stuff out to fit in there and I have a huge mess everywhere. So now I have it where I like it. So I need to go ahead and glue it. So I think I'm going to use Gorilla Glue. So it's glued. It was easier for me to glue it without the camera being in the way, so there's no footage of that, but it's all glued on there. I'm super excited now. I just need to finish painting the rest of the box and touching up some areas. So now I'm going to take out the insides of this drawer, and I'm thinking about putting this green polka dot fabric inside there. In this drawer, I was originally going to put this fabric all around it, and I did do that. And it just wasn't very clean. It was very messy around the edges, and the glue kind of bled through a little bit, so it kind of left this weird stain looking areas on it, and so I didn't like that, so I ripped it out. And what I'm going to do is something that some people are not going to like. I did find this book, I Am Pusheen the Cat, at a thrift store, and I think I bought it for $1. So if you are a book lover, I'm so sorry for what I'm about to do, but I'm going to cut it apart. So I used this glue stick to stick them in because I wasn't sure how I wanted them in there, and so I did have to move them around several times. And then I was going to go over that with some Mod Podge, and so I stuck them in there and I started going over them with Mod Podge, and some of the corners are starting to lift up. But at this point I'm so over doing this, I just want it to be finished already. And it's the inside of a drawer, so at least it's not the outside. I'm going to trim the edges and keep adding more Mod Podge, and hopefully I can get it to stop lifting up. So today's Thursday, and this is what I have so far. I have a huge mess. This wasn't closing, so I had to cut the side a little bit, and then this has a little piece that sticks out, so I had to dig that out, so I need to repaint that green. These were the pins that I made. So you can kind of see where the glue was right there. But I glued the pins on and you could see them super well, so I just cut them off. And I decided to stick a piece of paper and glue it with Mod Podge, and I think that looks better. And now I'm going to try to turn that into a pin. These pins are not the best. I think I'm going to throw the one that has the pizza away because it just doesn't look good. There's the pins. These little pins, I've noticed that they are too long to stick in the side here. So I need to find smaller ones if I'm going to use the side. So that's another problem. Or the bottom. Sides are the bottom. And so I feel like the inside of the drawer and this have given me so many problems, and I'm just tired of working on it. And I still have to clean up some areas on these, add some paint in there, and of course add Mod Podge to the whole thing. I finally finished it. and it's storming here. So normally I have this light on and I have my camera on to record, but since it's storming and it's thundering and lightning pretty bad, I went ahead and plugged my light because I don't want anything happening to it. And so I'm just going to use my phone to finish recording. But I finished this and I started showing it on my camera and it started thundering extremely bad. Thundering and lightning again. So here's my jewelry box. So this right here is one of my favorite sides. And my table is still a mess, but I'll clean that up when I'm done recording. And the back is just plain blue. I did put Mod Podge on all the sides. Originally I was going to make more pins, but in order to get my video out on Sunday on time, I spent so much time working on the inside of this and this part and just doing the little details on painting the sides that I kind of ran out of time. So one day I would like to make more pins. I did have difficulty making these pins. I used Sharpie and they were not dark enough, so it didn't really look very good, and so I had to figure out something to put on the back, so I used cardstock and used Mod Podge to glue them together. And then I also had already glued the little pins on there, so I had to cut them off, and it was just a really long process. So I think it would look cuter with more pins inside there, but that's what it looks like so far. I'm just very happy with the way that it turned out. I did add some blue paint and Mod Podge in there so it would kind of look cohesive. So it is having a hard time closing.